Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes weekly webisodes. I'm Sarah Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today, I'm excited to show you the Nutcracker collection of papers, rub-ons, and chipboard embellishments from our friends at Stamperia. So why don't we take a closer look, and we can start with our paper pack. So here you'll have an 8x8 paper pack with 10 double-sided papers, and on the inside front and inside back cover you have some bonus cutout accents. Now as I'm flipping through, you can see the imagery that we'll be working with today. It's Victorian, old-fashioned, really beautiful. The color palette is soft and easy to work with. Here are our nutcrackers, you can see, as well as our clock and some beautiful all-over designs like this pattern sheet right here. Now there are also pages of double-sided cutouts which are fully illustrated on one side. On the other side, you've got room for personalization. Here again, just beautiful images. I love this Christmas tree. We'll see that as a focal element too. Here's another one of the cutout sheets, and in this case you've also got a little mini envelope, and I'll show you how to use that on a card. The circular cutouts, you can use this side and cut out those circles. You can also use the other side, which is this beautiful stripe. And here's our inside back cover with some more cutout accents. Then to go along, you have a set of floral rub-ons. These are beautiful pieces to use as a focal on your card, and lots of smaller accents on here too. Now these are easy to apply, and they provide instructions on the back, and of course I'll step you through that process too. Now with our package of chipboard die cuts, you've got 44 in here, and I've put them onto some cardstock so that you can see the contents of the bag a bit better. Again, your Victorian houses, gift parcels, your ballerinas, of course your nutcracker as well. And I really love that you're getting a variety of sizes, which means you can use a single die cut as a card focal, or you can create some layered collages using several images if you want. Of course, everything is designed to coordinate perfectly, making it easy to create beautiful and unique cards. I'm really glad you're here today, and I'm excited to explore the creative possibilities with you. So come play with us. Our first card features a collage of chipboard embellishments layered on top of 2 floral rub-ons and some of this gorgeous pattern paper. I also added a cutout from the paper pack plus some gold border dazzles, and I've got a touch of gold ink around the outside edges of the striped paper. So let's have a look at how these layers all come together. Now, one thing I like to do often with my cards is simply trim down a piece of pattern paper slightly smaller than my card front. I really like having that white border go around the outside edges. So this is where I've started. So I'll move aside my blank card and we can work just on our striped paper. Then I've added 2 rub-ons on here. So I've got my images going like so. And before I apply these, I also want to make sure that they're going to fit where I want them to go around my focal element here. So I can kind of play with this until I make sure that I've got whatever amount of imagery I want to showing on here. And then I'll remove this and maybe start with this one here. So when I've trimmed this out from the backing sheet, of course I've trimmed out both the liner sheet and the rub-on itself. And then I can pull this off and position it right on top of my paper. I'm going to fold up a corner of this and make it easier to grab. I'll smooth this down with my finger, and you can see it's not going anywhere. It's on there pretty well, but to transfer it, I just need to take a bone folder and come along and burnish this design. These really do transfer beautifully, I have to say. The Stamperia rub-ons are super good quality, and the design is fantastic as well. And you can see you can apply this onto solid white cardstock if you want to, but it looks really nice on a pattern design. So I'm going to gently lift this up, walk this around Looks like I missed a little tiny bit on the end there, so I can just put it back down and continue to burnish. So let's see, come around here like so, and there is my floral piece. And you can see through that white flower, you can see some of the stripes on there. It's just really beautiful. So then I would repeat with this second rub-on on here, and then go ahead and add my focal element, which is this large Christmas tree ornament. And I've also added on here another one of the chipboard pieces, which is this bow. So I just pop that right on top. And then I've added my gift parcels down at the bottom. So 2 more chipboard die cuts, and they went like this. And I layered the larger one on top. Now, one thing you'll notice when you're layering up chipboard pieces, because they are nice and thick and sturdy, if you just glue them down, you kind of have this open space down there. So I like to use some foam tape to kind of create stability in there and pop those up. Then I've also got a sentiment that I've cut from the sheet of cutouts. It's that greetings one here. And just grab a pair of fine tip scissors, and that will make the fussy cutting a lot easier. So that's how I've created the front of my card. Now, after those elements are on there, I've inked around the outside edge using the Delicata ink pad. Now, this is a pigment gold ink pad. It adds a really nice touch of shine to your papers. It doesn't take long to dry, but it does take a second to dry. So I would really recommend that you have a place to pop that up so that you can let it dry thoroughly before you put it onto your white card. Let me bring this back in and we can take another look here. You'll notice I've got 2 borders going along the side there. These are from the Border Dazzles sheet, and I've simply put those down before I added my striped paper onto the front of my card so I could trim off any excess. You can see what I have left on here. There's some beautiful kind of fancy borders on here that just incorporate really nicely with a striped background design. So there's my cutout. I've popped this one up on some foam tape as well. Then for my card inside, I have this leftover strip of the striped paper, which I inked and glued down, plus another Border Dazzle and a rub-on here and a smaller one here. And then I have a sentiment from the Merry Christmas Dazzles stickers collection, and that's my message on the inside of my card. So you can see how easily those all come together. Now, our next card features a collage of chipboard die cuts, you can see here, plus gorgeous matching pattern paper. I absolutely love this design. And a center strip of white vellum to add an extra touch of dimension. So this is the border pattern paper that I worked with. I love this one. Now you could have it positioned this way. Your card could also go this way too. So you've got some possibilities in there. Again, I've trimmed it down slightly smaller than the front of my card and inked around the edges with that gold. And then I've also added in a piece of white vellum, and you can see the difference between the area that is covered with white and the area that is not. So this just helps to sort of mute this back a little bit. And then I've got my focal, which is starting with one of the cutouts, and it's this one here. So again, with this sheet, you have some fully illustrated designs and then some that have some open area, and this is the one I used. And then I've added a strip of swirl pattern paper, and then I've added on my focal elements. So I have my Nutcracker, the bear, as well as the package, of course, all popped up on foam tape so that I've got stability there. I've got another chipboard with the Magic Knight. I've added a little rub-on here on this cutout, and then some of these tiny stars. And these are coming from the Christmas Tiny Words and Phrases Dazzle set, which also has the Ho Ho Ho. Let me show you this set. So here's the one that I'm working with. And this one, it does come in other colors. So this is the one that's got all of the elements on it. And you can see that you've got some really nice sentiments as well as some small accent pieces that work nicely. And then for the card inside, I have a large floral rub-on plus a parcel border and another little dazzle phrase. I love making gift tags, especially for the holidays, so I thought it would be fun to look at an easy way to use today's supplies for a quick tag project. I'm using the tag in a bag die. Now, of course, you can make the bag as well as the tag, but the tag die by itself is one of the most versatile dies that I have. And in this case, I've used that tag shape to die cut 4 tags. So first from this yellow cardstock, and this comes from the stained glass cardstock set, and this is my base piece. Then I've also die cut the tag from the striped paper, and then layered the striped paper on top of the yellow, still allowing some of that yellow cardstock to show on there. Then my third tag is cut from the snowfall acetate. I know that's a little tricky to see, so I'll put a piece of black cardstock behind here so that you can see. Now the acetate comes as an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and it has a really pretty and tactile snowfall pattern. So these are layered together, and then my fourth tag is on the back. So I've glued it to the back of the yellow tag, and it's this pattern paper, which I just love. Now for the front, I've simply added a cutout from the paper pack, and it's this one right here, and I've sandwiched that in between the striped paper and the acetate, so it's underneath that acetate tag. Then I have my Nutcracker chipboard piece on top, along with the Joy Dazzle. On the other side, I have another one of the cutouts, plus the Merry Christmas Dazzle, and then 2 star chipboard pieces. And my tag is topped with some gingham ribbon, which I use a lot, not only for the holidays, but pretty much year round. I go through this gingham ribbon pack quite often, and that's what I've just tied up here at the top. Now I've got another card project to show you, and the focal for this card is another one of the cutouts from the paper pack, and it's this little envelope. So let's have a look at this sheet again. You can see this is where it comes from. So you'll just cut this out. Now you do have it as a double-sided image, so you can decide which side you want to have showing. So let me show you how easy it is to fold up. Now I like to use a ruler or some kind of straight edge to score up each of the sides before I get to folding them. But you'll simply fold in the 2 sides, fold up the bottom, and then you can leave the top unfolded as I've done here, or if you wanted to, you could fold that up and seal it as well. So you've got lots of options there. I like using it on the front of the tag and then, or the front of the card, and then having a little tag or message tucked inside there and just peeking out. Now I did ink around the outside edges of my envelope before I glued it all together, and I used that Delicata gold ink to go along there. So for my envelope, working as part of my focal, I've got another cutout kind of peeking out. You can see the Very Merry message and this floral rub-on on here. I also added a cutout, this little birdie cutout from the paper pack, and then the Merry Christmas cutout also from the paper pack. And these are popped up with some foam tape overlapping this chipboard ornament. And then I've got some more of that gingham ribbon on here. The front of my card is covered with red cardstock, and this is also from the stained glass cardstock pack. Then for the card inside, we have one of my favorite dies. This is the Shine Bright die. I think this works beautifully for Christmas cards as well as year-round greetings, and I've die cut that from the red cardstock and added it just to this pattern paper with our Nutcracker chipboard piece and another couple of little stars in here. Our final card is made using a fabulous folded die. It's the Trifold Surprise, which makes a design that opens like this. It's really easy to do and a lot of fun to decorate. And I've used some of the pattern papers, chipboard die cuts, and some of the soft snowfall to embellish my tree. Okay, let's first look at the die and we can go from there. So here's the die that I'm working with, the Trifold Surprise. You can see it's one metal piece in this folder. And you also, of course, with Hot Off the Press, will get a project idea as well as instructions and your folding diagram to mark your mountain folds and your valley folds. So you'll simply die cut that piece from your paper or cardstock, and it will cut around the outside edge. It will also cut this slit in the middle here and mark all of your scoring areas. So all you need to do is follow the diagram and fold up those mountain folds and the valley folds. And I do recommend using a bone folder here just to get those nice crisp lines. And from here you can decorate as you wish. So I die cut mine from the black cardstock, which is yellow on the other side, and this is from the stained glass collection, of course. So black on this side, yellow on the reverse. And then I've added portions of patterned paper on top, leaving an edge of black. So I've got this portion here, which you can see here and here. And then I've also used just this border down here to create the border at the bottom of my card. Now I also have a border dazzle down at the bottom. And then I've got a chipboard bell up here at the top. I've got the ballerina and I have the sentiment. Now on my tree chipboard piece, you'll see some white on there. And if you could touch this, you would feel that it's also tactile. Now this is the soft snowfall from Hunky Dory, and I have just a little bag of this. Now, the main pack contains 300 grams of mini flakes of artificial snow. So I really only have a portion of this, and it's going to take me a long way. So you get a lot, and it's great for adding texture and dimension. And it's also really easy to use. So let me show you here with my tree. Now I'm going to be working with the Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue and the fine tip glue applicator. And I'll just apply my adhesive just along some of the pine boughs on here. I also applied some around in some center areas of my tree. You just as much or as little as you want, but that fine tip applicator does make it very easy to get glue just where you want it to go. Then I'm going to pop this into a container. It's kind of like heat embossing or using glitter. So this will help to contain some of the snowfall. And then I'm just going to take a little bit and kind of sprinkle this on here. And then I'm going to be sure to seal up my bag of soft snowfall and set it aside. Now all I need to do from here is let this dry. You might want to tap off any of the excess. Again, it's very much like working with embossing powders or glitters. Again, just let that dry and you will have a beautiful and decorated tree. And so that's what I've done for the front of my card here. Just layered this right on top. I also have a little gingerbread man on here as one of the embellishments too. And then when I open this up, you can see I've got a rub-on, and I wanted to show you what those rub-ons look like on black cardstock, and I think it's really beautiful. And then I've got another Dazzle Merry Christmas to finish it off. And this is our final project of the day today. So a big thank you to our friends at Stamperia for this really beautiful and festive collection. I had a lot of fun. And a big thank you to you for joining me today. We're really glad you're here, and we're happy you're a part of the Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For the money saver, just see this webisode on paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.